Will you be my friend on Facebook, Bob?
No, I'm gonna have to unfriend you.
If you do, I'll haunt you your entire life.
And?
Boy, what a great response. What a great response. Jeez. Oh my
We didn't have much to destroy.
Oh boy. Welcome everybody to another movie review where we talk about Friend Request.
Mm-hmm.
And this is sort of the latest, I guess,
Internet
horror movie type of deal.
Yes.
Yeah, internet.
I mean, the closest, most similar one that we saw, I think it was last year?
Or a little bit,
maybe
bit
earlier.
of way back now, which was Unfriended.
Yeah, and
yes.
that was almost a year or two ago.
Year or two ago or something like that, yeah. So this is the newest one, I guess.
I will have to say this before we get into the review.
Yeah.
I did like this movie better than Unfriended. Unfriended just felt, it was too much. The whole movie, you pretty much see the whole movie through FaceTime and talking through the actual internet. This one you don't get that, at least a good chunk of the time.
Well, I mean, let's get it. I mean, where would you want to start with Friend Request?
Well, I mean, should we do? Are we going to do spoilers?
Well, we'll do spoilers, if anything, towards the end of the video.
All right.
So I think the best place to start is probably the plot. We'll start with the plot.
All right.
And the idea that this woman, her name is Laura.
Mm-hmm.
She's immensely popular.
Yes.
She's immensely popular, but a very
900 friends, something like that.
But a very down to earth girl. Very down to earth girl,
pretty
and
much likable.
Very likable. Yes. Extremely likable, and she is, your typical college chick. Going to parties,
girl,
friends. All this stuff,
mm-hmm.
and there is this one girl, very lonely.
New transfer student, and nobody really knows.
And she's and she's just somebody who Laura feels sorry for.
Yeah.
And
out of kindness, she befriends her on Facebook.
And then, basically once she sort of sees that this chick may be going a little overboard, decides to unfriend her, and that's when everything sort of goes crazy from there.
She starts to get kind of really obsessive, messenger, almost every few minutes, every hour.
Absolutely. And what the thing about it is this girl, I guess you could say the creepy one, Marina. She is creepy. I'm not gonna lie. She's creepy, but I
mean, like you said, a lot of ways. We can relate to this type of stuff. We've seen I won't say these people. I can relate. Long time I was lonely until I got some friends, and
sure,
I could have turned out the same way.
She's very obsessive with Laura to the point of if she doesn't,
single weight female almost.
Well, if she doesn't respond to her within 5 minutes, she's basically sending her 3 or 4 more
crazy,
more messages.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that's not the way.
Are you here? Or, what are you doing?
Well, that's not the way for the etiquette to be, but she does it anyway. Mm-hmm. And look, is Laura wrong for unfriending her? I don't know. This is a complex thing. Is she wrong, or is she right to do what she did?
Even when you do learn about the main characters, or not the main character, but I forget what her name is.
Oh, Marina?
Marina, the character. You don't really get the problem is when you, that's the thing I have to say in general.
Okay.
When you friend somebody on Facebook, I'd like to get to know them first before I friend somebody. Unless it's somebody I already know, like a relative or something, or a friend of the family.
Yeah.
I'll friend them no matter what. But you gotta get to know people first before you do stuff like this. Because I have to say, I like going on Facebook. Connect with friends and see stuff. part of people's lives. But I think there should be a limit of how much connection you have, especially on Facebook, because it's dangerous nowadays.
Well, look, it's very dangerous. You're right. And, I mean, but with this movie, when she unfriends her, it's a difficult decision for her. She's not exactly like...
I mean, I think even her friends were kind of pressuring her, like, why are you friends with this girl? She's really creepy. I'm like, I mean, you don't, I mean, I can understand this person gets kind of obsessed because this is probably the only person that's actually trying to be her friend.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
the problem is this. I mean, it's twofold, essentially. It's like, okay, this chick doesn't have any friends. Nobody really has
tried to
connect with her. So Laura has, and it's the first person that she's been connected to for a long while. So, oh my God, she wants to kind of attach herself more to her.
Latch on.
At the same time, boy, when you're super creepy like this, who can blame her for unfriending her? I mean, really.
I mean, I think Laura should have saw some of the signs ahead of time. I mean, the girl was like always, even when they were like nearby, she's like kind of staring at her half the time. I'm like,
yeah, well, that's true.
That'd be my first major sign. Especially when the person starts messaging you. Like, I can understand messaging somebody a couple times a day, but like every 5 seconds, every couple minutes, it gets kind of, there's big blinking red signs like, oh, you're in trouble now.
Well, let me ask you this. So, I mean, this is your typical horror movie. Pretty much.
For me, I thought this movie was it pretty much went the way I thought it was going to go. I mean, there was almost no surprises in this film.
I mean, for me, let me ask you this. Were you... Because we won't really get into spoilers yet, but of course, a lot of her friends are being taken out. Do you feel that the friends deserved it?
I mean, if the Marina character wasn't so... I can understand the obsessive part, but if she wasn't so, like, really, when she's, like, lurking around and creepy, if she wasn't that, I think the friends probably would have let her off a little bit easier. Not pressuring Laura to unfriend her.
Okay.
But considering the way Marina acted the way she did, I'm not surprised. But they were just trying to be protective friends of her. Yeah,
this is true. I mean, my thought about it really is like, well, okay, so the friends are not exactly wanting this chick to be...
they're not exactly the perfect people either,
But they did nothing wrong. I mean, really, all they did was say, hey...
That's the theme behind horror film. Anybody that's associated with the main character, or the main obsession of the killer, or whatever you want to call it, the entity or whatever, they're going to pay the price for just being around her.
Well, I know, but look, when Jason Voorhees kills people, these people deserve it, man.
Well, they violate his rules in his domain.
But Marina doesn't have rules. I mean, really, if we're sitting here really talking about rules, Marina doesn't have any.
I mean, technically, I can say the only rule she's like, her main thing is she wants Laura to be her only friend. And that's probably the reason. I mean, I can understand why she didn't go after all the people on Facebook, but...
Well, yeah, but...
She wanted Loneliness to feel as lonely as she did. Sort of get that into her mind and her head.
Into her mindset and everything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand that. I mean, I will say this much. I think that the acting is pretty decent. It's not terrible. It's pretty typical, standard stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much most of this movie generic. I could say the one thing that's most generic, of course, you've got the two cops, like, the one's like, we know you had some connection to this, and blah, blah, blah. Then there's the other cop who says the most stupid and obvious things, is the partner. I forget. I don't remember some of the stuff he did. He's just kind of the dumb cop of the two.
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty standard fare. I mean, as far as horror movies go, it's pretty standard stuff. I mean, did you want to get into a little bit of spoilers?
Yeah, might as well do spoilers.
I mean, we won't do a ton. We'll just do a few.
I mean, I can say this.
Okay.
Like, a lot of the stuff she first posts to Laura has the connection of how the movie ends. When you think about it. You kind of foreshadows where she has to go in the movie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And how it ends into the film. I mean, I kind of foresaw the way this movie was going to end. I mean...
You did, because I really...
You really didn't?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I was... See, for me, surprise-wise, because you say there's no surprises in here, I happen to disagree a little bit. I thought things like when Laura gets stabbed, I thought I didn't see that one coming. I kind
of did. I mean, when the guy's like... I could tell once the one guy, Kobe's character, or the Kobe character, starts to go from like, oh, I want to be with you, and then he kind of like, why am I helping you? You know, you don't have to worry about nothing. You're gonna live, blah blah blah. I'm like, I kind of foresee him like he was gonna do something bad to her.
Well, yeah, maybe. And the interesting thing I'm sort of thinking about now is, there's the whole idea. Okay, this involves sort of black magic, cultish type stuff with the Marina character. At the end of the movie, spoilers, she ends up possessing the Laura character.
Yeah.
And the Laura character now becomes what the Marina character was.
Or she becomes the new Marina.
Or the new Marina, I should say. And...
a.k.a. Laura.
Laura. And basically, the whole idea is that she's now... Would you dare say she's stalking another
I think
girl?
It's going to be like it's going to be like when you do a chain letter, you know, it connects to the new group. So I think that's what's going to happen. She's going to start infecting, like how she went to the Laura character. The Laura character, or the A.K. Marina character, is going to go to the new group.
But has Marina tried to do this before?
We don't even know if that's the original Marina. That could be somebody else.
Well, exactly. And that's really the thing I'm kind of curious as to what your take on that is. Because, look...
I mean, who knows? She could have been the first to start it off and be the spread, like the movie The Ring or the Grudge or something.
I mean, it could be. I mean, we don't know.
Because even the Kobe characters, like when they do this ritual, they become something else. They become a spirit or a demon or whatever you want to call it.
I mean,
we don't even know what happened to Laura's soul. Is she still in there? Is she gone? Or is she stuck in the other side where she got transformed, or what? You know
where she is? She's in that sort of realm where the black dude is in Get Out, where he's kind of like.
No, she's stuck with Samara in the well in The Ring.
You know, well, that too. I mean, let me ask you this: what did you think about? Because look, this is a horror movie, and horror movies have the grisly deaths and the blood and everything. What did you think about those?
I don't think anybody. I mean, probably the weakest death for me. I don't remember the character's name. Britt Morgan's character, the blonde.
Oh, the blonde. Yeah, the blonde. Yep.
She jumps from the roof from the balcony from her apartment, on top of a truck. But she survives that part.
Yeah.
She gets her face all cut up though. Then I guess Marina possesses her again, and
yeah.
She shoots her. I'm like, why would she go through all that just to shoot her? Why didn't she just like stop the machine from keep her from breathing, or instead of having it breathe out, have it like suck all the air out of her lungs or something?
I mean, something like that. I mean, there definitely is the blood in here. There's a little bit of the gore.
I was surprised to how the main boyfriend went out. I thought he was going to get killed by the Marina character. I wasn't expecting him to get killed by...
Well, again, that's unexpectedness, which I actually did like.
That's probably the only real thing for me.
I mean, for me personally, I thought the deaths were not bad. I thought they could
have been a little bit more gruesome or better.
Maybe, but again, you're trying to appeal to a certain type of audience,
Yeah.
and you don't want to go too grisly to turn some of those people off. I agree with what you say, but
I
know
thought
how that
one
goes.
character, because in a lot of because I noticed this in the first character's death.
Yeah.
You notice how before she attacks him, he's staring at the computer screen, and you notice once he turns his head, the computer screen's like completely frozen.
Yes, it's for all of them. Whether it's whether they're looking at the blank screen on their cell phone or they're looking at the computer.
I would have liked to one of them to look at their thing and they're like, what's happening to my computer screen? And gets like real close, and that computer, that figure of him just turns all demonic looking and like kills the person right there.
I mean, I will say this much for the scares themselves. There's a lot of like loud noise, jump scares in your face. Some of them worked. I think some of them were not as effective. And I think, unfortunately, I think with a lot of horror movies nowadays, is you're not going to get those just simple, creepy, quiet moments. There is a few in this, but you're going to get those loud scares.
What was the weakest jump scare that they did for you?
Oh, man. The weakest one...
The one I really mostly expected was the one from the commercial, and where she's looking through the door hole. And
the
see
door
demonic arena. And even the one at the end, where she turns around and sees demonic arena. And, right there.
I mean, by the way, that was in the trailer, actually.
I'm like... I hate when they foreshadow stuff like that, because you're going to be expecting it now.
Yeah, see, that's the type of stuff. I mean, it's not a bad movie. And I think at the end of the day, I think, is this film probably one of the better horror movies of the year? No, it's not.
No.
By all means, no.
I mean, we saw almost a perfect one a couple weeks ago.
We saw it. We even talked earlier before we saw this movie about how we really still enjoyed Wish Upon.
Yeah, Wish Upon was so... I would have to say it and Wish Upon are probably the better horror movies so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, there is some. I mean, this is not really one of those ones. I will say this much, though. This movie does really... It does have a message about, like I said, the whole Facebook, internet thing, the idea
obsession.
Of the obsession and the disorder of it. But, by the way, you could get that in better films, like Ingrid Goes West, which my friend Nick and I reviewed, which I think is far more effective in displaying that type of message than something like this movie does. But I mean, that's what I think.
For me, I think the overall message is you got to be really careful nowadays, especially on the internet, because, sometimes you just don't know what you're walking into.
You don't know what you're walking into, and at the end of the day, they could be really, really, really creepy, and for some reason, turn you into
a demon,
a demon, a weird, screwed up entity, and kill all your friends.
This one, I can't get rid of him.
Yes,
he's literally my demonic parasite for eternity now.
Which you don't seem to mind, actually. So I mean,
I've gotten
okay.
used to.
Do it. So, what are your final thoughts and grade rating for Friend Request?
Like you said, I thought this movie could be... I mean, it was predictable. I thought it could have been more unpredictable. I would have liked a couple more twists and turns, stuff not expecting.
Sure.
What I found really kind of weak, because they kind of did... I mean, the part where you see the two boys with their faces like...
Oh, yeah, Yes,
I forget what you call it. Like, their faces were like... They didn't really have faces anymore, but they're just like skulking around.
Yeah, skulking around, yeah.
When they're about to attack or something.
Yeah.
I thought they could have made that a lot more scary. I mean, if you're going to do like the dark, creepy things in the corner, like you see something in a corner.
Yeah.
Make it all very shadowy.
Okay.
Something that's like, you hear something, you see something walking in the background, but you can't really make out what it is.
Sure.
These ones were too visible for me.
Okay.
Like I said, the movie was really predictable. It could have used more twists and turns. I mean, I kind of foresaw because even the guy said in the movie, it's like, sometimes they don't just kill you to separate you to make you all alone, but sometimes they possess you. It's like, once he said that, I was like, that's probably where they're going to go with this film.
All right.
I mean, that and like in Wish Upon, you kind of foresaw like the whole chain of events is going to start over. You get that in this film.
You do. You're right. So what's your grade rating, sir?
I mean, if it was more gruesome and more twists and turns, I'd probably give it B plus. I'd have to say this movie, it was better than Unfriended, which I did not really care for that much.
All right.
I'd have to give this one probably an extremely low, almost crossing over to the next grade level down. Very low, like at the end, the bottom, B minus.
A low B minus. Okay.
I mean, almost in the C plus range.
All right. For me, honestly, I do agree with you. This is better than Unfriended. I think Unfriended was a slightly more unique movie than this movie is. But I think this movie does have an interesting message to it. And I do think that, yes, it's your standard fare, but I think it's not too bad. I do have to say this though. I think towards the end of the movie, I was kind of like, "Geez, when is it going to end?" It was kind of a little bit overstaying its welcome a little bit.
I felt
for me,
like you said, I think it was kind of just drawing out, stretching the film out.
Yeah, it was stretching the film out a little bit. So I think the deaths were just okay. The acting is just okay. Everything in this movie is just okay for Buzz. So for me, I'm gonna give it a flat C.
Wow, you're a lot lower than that.
I'm gonna give it a flat C. Again, I think it's worth watching if it comes on Netflix or on DVD at that point. But I don't think you need to waste your money.
This is probably be a lot better thing to watch on Netflix than half the stuff they show right now. At least for horror.
Absolutely.
At least on streaming.
Netflix and be very creepy.
I would have been like, Tara! You're always creepy, so you look like you're about to kidnap somebody.
You can never get rid of me, Bob.
I could try.
You'll fail.
I'll just have to put you in a very bad movie.
That would basically just
I'll just put some movie that you really dislike. That's how I get rid of you.
Oh boy. All right. He's got the formula. All right, guys. Thank you for watching the review. If you like it, definitely give it a thumbs up. And we will be back next time for another movie review.
Yep.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You're unfriended.